Oh boy.
I can't wait.
I'm surprised you guys came. Um, I, when questions pop into your head, go ahead and ask them. We'll just make this interactive a little bit. Just speak out. And this isn't going to take that long. Basically, the auditor's coming September, I think the 7th is Labor Day, so I think he's coming the 8th. He's going to be here about 2 weeks. And what I'm going to send him right before he comes is a list or copies of about 20% of our sales from the last year. He'll have 30 to 40 full sales to look at. That's why we do compliance, is so that when he looks at it, everything will be there. The closing statement, the whole thing. He's also going to look at every buyer agency. That's why it's always been important, and especially important right now, for you guys to submit through command, not through dot loop, your buyer agencies and your listings. The rule is, I mean, the state says you need to submit it to the office as quickly as possible. You know, and it happens, you know, if you get a buyer agency or a listing, heaven forbid, you get in a car wreck and you're stuck in the hospital, somebody here is going to have to work with that client. If it's not submitted, then what? Are we going to your desk at your house to find it? So it's good to submit that stuff. If you're out of business for a little bit because of whatever, somebody here can take it over. Buyer agencies, listings need to be turned in, especially for this auditor coming in. Sounds like a nice guy. Basically, he is only a fact finder. He looks through, makes notes of problems, makes notes of what's missing, what we've done wrong, and takes that to the commission. Then they review it, and they can, from those problems, they can, I mean, they'll send us a letter that says, here's the problems we found. It's with them, with MREC, and I've been through a couple of audits, it's more about education for us than just trying to get us, you know, trying to catch us doing stuff. MREC does not send out shoppers. They don't send people out to act like they're buying a house, but then they really don't. The fair housing does. So the fair housing people, totally separate from MREC, they'll send people out to interact with you and see if you're doing any of the fair housing things wrong, but they won't enter into a buyer agency. They won't enter into a contract and then say, oh, we need to cancel that because we're not really buying a house. So keep that in mind. And, you know, the regular public can always make a complaint to the MREC or fair housing or whatever. So after the results of the audit, God, I was thinking appraisal. No, that's not right. MREC will probably get back to us after next year, February, March, something like that. Because they only meet every 2 months. And like I said, they'll send us a letter of all the things. I'll let you know. They can issue fines. I think that's pretty much only on repeat stuff. It's not going to be repeat stuff. I mean, unless they happen to look at 6 of your files and you keep making the same mistake, they can fine you, but it's not for honest mistakes. It's for trends of, you know, deceptive things. And I know we're not doing those anyway. They can also make us take education classes if we repeatedly do something wrong. and they've got the power to revoke your license. They're not looking to put us out of business, so don't worry about that part. So he'll be here September 8th. I'll probably spend that day with him. And a few days before, I'll be gathering and sending the stuff he wants. And then I'll probably spend the last day with him, but I'm not going to be up there for 2 weeks. He'll be in the conference room going through the stuff. He'll call me if he needs me. I live half a mile away. While he's here, well, I'll tell you right now, and it started who knows how many weeks or months ago, he's looking at our advertising. He's been looking at Facebook. He's been looking at, TikTok and Instagram and all the others. One of the reasons I start, where's the office phone number? You guys hate me for that, but one of the things he's looking for is if our advertising is compliant. What is advertising? Hey, I'm here on an inspection. I think that's advertising. You're putting it out there that you're a realtor. Maybe in that post, it should show your name, your phone number, and the office phone number. Because you're kind of advertising yourself. Hey, look how good I am. I'm at an inspection or I'm at a showing. And I'm guilty. I'm guilty. You forget, look at this. I'm in, whatever town or whatever. Put it out there. Let them know how to get a hold of you. So a lot of the stuff he's going to look at and has been looking at, it's too late to fix. If you really I'm not worried about the closed files because they go through them. You don't get a check until we feel, the compliance cops feel that contract cops, until they feel that it's right and it'll stand up to an audit. So I'm not worried about the sold ones. Buyer agencies, pending sales, listings. A lot of times they don't get looked at by compliance if you don't submit it. So let's start submitting stuff. And I'm guilty too. I'm not always submitting as quickly as I say that you guys should, right? Right. But I'm busy. And the key is for the brokerage to know what's going on. Well, I'm part of the brokerage, so I know what's going on my desk. Anyway, my wife knows where to find all my stuff. Auditor is also going to be looking for our signage to make sure the office is compliant. He's going to be looking, make sure, the right address is posted. All the things have to line up with what our license says. Missing signatures is a big thing. I don't know what he'll look at. If you write a contract August 11th and your buyer agency is dated August 12th, that could be an issue. And again, a lot of that stuff's already been done. He's just going to go through it with a fine-tooth comb and let us know what was messed up. But when you get mentioned in a letter from the MREC, you're going to remember that thing. Trust me. My last audit with MREC was, 2013, I think. And most of our files were good, but we had a few issues. And in an office this size, he's going to be looking at a lot of folders, a lot of not folders, but digitally, I'm assuming. They're going to look for, and again, compliance takes care of us on this, earnest money to be delivered within 3 days. And we don't deliver it until 4 days. And the receipt, that we get that receipt, we know the contract date. That's why we have to do an amendment to make it okay for that earnest money to be late. That box in Missouri used to be 10 days by default and 5 in Kansas. Now they've changed it to 3, and I forget also, but we ought to spread that out a little bit, especially if it's a weekend. How are they going to deposit it electronically, which is great. We can do that now. If you have to hand deliver a check to the title company, it may not get done in 3 days. Weekends, holidays, all those fun things. We do need to have the receipt from the title company. And there are basically two kinds of receipts. One, that the earnest deposit was received in the amount of $1,000 or whatever. One, and it's usually on the same page, that they've received the contract. So our files have to have the one that says they've received the check and the contract. Yeah. Blank lines, and you get emails every time I sign a listing or a buyer agency. I go through it to make sure up front, since we're at the beginning of that transaction, that there's no blank lines. I've probably sent every one of you an email that says, hey, line 73 is missing X, or we forget to check the franchise box, marital status. So, but if I sign it and I don't send you an email saying, hey, this is wrong, doesn't mean it's not wrong. It just means I didn't catch it. She'll get it. Right. I'm kind of pointing at both. Again, on advertising, you can't just be Jenny Smith, the realtor. You have to show that you're affiliated with this office and put the office phone number down. You don't have to put your own phone number down, but that'd be dumb. Be careful, please, with virtual photos. I don't think this is a big MREC thing, but I wanted to mention it. Are you that bored, Tim? Virtual pictures, virtual staging, I think that's going to get a lot of people in trouble in the future, and it's kind of starting now. And you don't want the buyer to be disappointed when they walk in the house. You're setting yourself up, in my opinion, you're setting yourself up for a buyer to walk in and be disappointed in the house. You make the yard look perfectly green in January and all those things. Disclose that it's virtual. Virtual, and really in all of our ads. In fact, I haven't used it for a little bit, but I've got a template where I advertise some of the houses. And at the bottom, it just says some photos may be virtually enhanced. That way I'm covered every time if they are enhanced or not. And sometimes you can't tell.
Isn't CYA, they kind of monitor that. They will kick it back to you.
Yeah.
If they notice that it's like empty state.
Yeah.
And it doesn't say it.
Yeah. And they should. This is going quick. Any questions anyone's got?
So I know that you would like for us specifically, always have to have a phone number. You have the office address.
Just office name, ideally the office logo. It's probably okay if you just put, Keller Williams and the phone number. They'd prefer Keller Williams Southland Partners and the phone number, which if you use the logo, that's there. Physical address really doesn't matter, I don't think. I'd have to look it up, but just
Physical address has to be on like email newsletters and stuff for like federal law. But I haven't seen in any of the, because I've been to quite a few classes over at KCRAR lately. They haven't said anything about it needing to be included on like house for sale.
Yeah, I don't think it would need to be. Maybe the auditor will tell us different. Where is zipping right through? Again, submit your stuff. the office needs to know what you're doing in command. And one other thing, this has nothing to do with the audit, but if you need me, if you want me to look at something that you're filling out, an addendum, an offer, and you've got a question, if you send it through Dotloop, I may not see it for a couple of days. When you send me stuff to sign through Dotloop, my email puts it in my Dotloop folder. At a minimum, every 2 days, I go through and I clear that out. So you'll rarely see my signature more than 2 days after you send it to me. If you send it a whole bunch of times, that just clogs up my folder. But anyway, if you send me an offer in Dotloop, hey, would you look this over? What do you think? I may not see it for a couple of days. You need to text me or just send a PDF, not in Dotloop, and it won't go in my Dotloop folder. Because there's, every day there's like 10. Day 2, I'm at 20. So I'm sitting there and I'm reading and signing and reading and signing. Oh, there's an offer that someone wanted me to look at. Well, I hope they didn't lose the house. They didn't tell me. So anyway, just rambling there. Make sure they're going to look to make sure we're using the most updated KCRAR forms. All of Missouri does not use KCRAR forms. St. Louis has their forms. Springfield has their forms. So just make sure you using the most current one. I think every one, amendment, addendum, every form at the bottom says copyright 2026.
Please.
Okay. I thought you were going to say, nope, it doesn't.
They came from a co-op agent, that came from 2019. 2019, so you gotta watch them too.
Yeah. It hasn't changed, but still. Oh, really?
Well, that based.
Oh, that's right. The extra box on the second page. Yeah. Yeah. Watch those things.
Question then,
Yes.
if you were like in that situation, would you ask for them to update it on a new form, or would you just like say, oh, this is what we're working with? I mean, I sometimes take it back, but
I would, especially since it's changed. And even now it's going to get trickier on a 2024 form on a listing because you've already got it in the MLS, you've already got the dates. Ideally, yeah, it'd be cool if the seller would sign a new listing because there are things that changed, but then your dates aren't going to line up. It's going to look like so keep the old listing that says it'll be active August 10th, have them sign a new one August 13th, because your date in the MLS is going to be August 10th or August 11th, and you can't advertise something before you have it listed. So it'd be good to keep them both. Put them both in command, and then we'll have them.
Are we responsible for the other agent stuff? No, we're doing it.
Depends.
Are we gonna get a gig?
I think you'd have a chance to explain it. I think they'll make a note of it. But I mean, other agents aren't always going to do what we ask them to do. And that's maybe a good place. There's room in command to put placeholders. Type it up, put it in there. That way, because this audit's going to cover people that are maybe no longer at our office. And we're going to be looking at it saying, well, what the hell were they thinking? But anyway. Yeah, MLS, don't put stuff in before you have a signed listing. You can't advertise a house you don't have listed. I would caution maybe not putting a house on Facebook that says, hey, I'm going to be listing this next week, unless you've got it listed in a coming soon category. So just be careful on that. I don't want to get ticky tack, and you could say, well, I'm hoping to list this house next week. You're kind of advertising it. So best not to, because he's going to dig through MLS. He's going to know all the dates. He's going to look at your listing when you put it in MLS. He's not going to fine you $50 because MLS take care of that. But that's the main thing. I think you can't advertise something that you don't have listed, signatures and everything. Where? Who? Oh, hi.
If on personal pages, it's stating, like our newest project coming soon, Royal Market coming soon, not technically on the real estate page, what's the advice there?
So you've got a whole different situation. Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of your stuff is going to be the construction side. Hey, here's what we're working on. I mean, I feel like you'd be fine. You're not advertising as a realtor. You're just more like, hey, here's a house that we're remodeling. Here's our bed and breakfast, all those fun things. If I'm wrong, we'll find out. We'll find out together. Right. I told her wrong. Again, that most of us do really good on having all the right signatures, fixing things quickly when we find out there's a problem. That's why like I said, I try to scan the listings and buyer agencies. Hopefully, maybe you've already submitted it to command, but as soon as I sign it, you really should. That way more eyes can get on it and we can fix problems early rather than doing a change form, the day of closing, the day before closing, even after closing. There's not much motivation. So they're going to be looking at 100 files and there's going to be a few issues. I don't think there'll be that many issues. I think we're all pretty good. Like I said, the ones have already closed. I don't think you'll find mistakes. Very, very few. Like I said, we'll get the letter. He'll probably, on the last day that he's here, I'm sure he and I'll go through the folders and he'll be like, here's the problem I found here. This is wrong. This should have been done. Like I said, I don't see any reason that anyone here would get a fine from the MREC. So I want us all to be nervous that the audit's happening, but nobody here is going to lose their license unless you've just been doing criminal things. And that hasn't happened.
Closely, are they looking at, like, if we could get something back because it's missing marital status or it's missing days that are supposed to be filled in, and you just fill it in and resubmit it without going through the proper steps? How closely are they looking at that? Like writing?
Like initialing the changes.
Mhm.
I don't know because I know what happens. Ideally, anything like in a fully typed up listing, and then you got something over here that's handwritten, AMC for married, should have initials. Is it possible that you went and sat down with them and it's all typed out and you're like, oh, I forgot. So you put in AMC. You might forget to have them initial it while you're sitting at the kitchen table. I'm sure they'll point it out, but I don't think that's like a criminal offense. And how do you prove when that was done? Ideally, if we're told that something needs to be done, it really should be on a change form. John and Joan Smith are a married couple. And that should have been on line 1 of the contract or whatever, or the listing. So yeah, as a rule, change form's the best way. That way we know everything's done and that we're not doing things that the sellers really don't know that we're doing. Does putting that they're married hurt anything? Probably not. But are we changing, other stuff that we really should have made sure they saw? Numbers especially, and dates. Really need to be initial. That went fast. Questions?
It's on Facebook. Never did, I don't remember. Where it said, pay attention to how your name is on the emails. That is how you have to advertise and fill out contracts unless you have a fictitious name recorded with Missouri State. So we went our business under his promises, my husband and I. My real estate license is Amanda Rowe, but I do everything under Mandy. Is that still fine?
This is going to be part 2 of the meeting.
Oh.
Perfect segue. So we've had a couple classes on fictitious names, and frankly, that filling out that form and submitting it to the Secretary of State is a pain in the butt. I was kind of overdoing it with the fictitious names in that I was thinking that any and all of us should have a fictitious name if we do anything other than the way our name reads on our license, which I printed out. You guys can take a look. There's a simpler form if you're just going to change from Amanda to Mandy, and that's this one. At the bottom, there's a place to put your aliases or nicknames, and you send this to the state, and it's free. I forgot all about this form. So in your case, that's super easy. If you want to be Tony instead of Anthony, is he not here? I guess not. Oh, okay. Simple form. I printed 21 of them. I can print more if you guys want to look at them or fill one out. Sandra instead of Sandy. Yeah. And like mine, now I've got all kinds of fictitious names that I filled out. My middle initial is on my license, but I never use it. Sometimes Dotloop puts it in there and sometimes it doesn't. So this is a lot easier. MREC is going to love the fact that 20 of these got faxed in my God, emailed. You even know what a fax is? So, but fictitious name is required. Like on Facebook, I am Darin Jones Real Estate Services. So that's not an alias or a nickname. That's a whole new company name almost. That's where you have to have a fictitious name. So if you're just shortening your name, going to Mandy, omitting your middle initial, you could cover yourself with this form. So I don't think that's going to be a big deal with MREC. They might mention on some of your contracts, they might say, hey, you should have filled this out. Well, we just went over it and you can fill it out. So that's, if you want, let's pass this around. You guys can look. They're in order by last name. This is all of our agents. And see exactly how yours is on your license, and then raise your hand if you'd like one of these. You already know. So you've got the fictitious name for your company, how you advertise. That's what's required. But just changing your name a little bit.
I don't want to see this.
Thanks, Darin. Thank you. That's the name, real estate, like Laura Cardi real estate.
Fictitious name.
I have that. Then I'll go ahead and do this just in case.
overkill.
Well, you won't need it for like,
Because my license says. and my middle
oh,
name.
okay, yeah, middle names.
File fictitious
Is
name.
it on there? No.
It's a different name, why we use it like. I don't understand where it's
So it
out,
would-
then I covered.
Should be, yes. This is a short, I mean, why not? It's real easy. It's just
Okay,
down there.
okay. I was wondering.
Not yet.
I know.
Oh, give that to her. Okay, yeah, that's coming around. So yours is like just Atwood Homes? That's going to be a fictitious name. And it's confusing, but I'll show you how to do it. One there for Sandy. We need them back here. Didn't you do a fictitious name?
Yeah, but now apparently I forgot something.
Well,
Cause some have my middle initial, some have my full name, some have my name.
yeah, make note of how yours is on your license. And bear in mind, Kansas will be a whole different thing. Different forms.
We should probably have like 5KC registered as an fictitious name.
Yep.
I'm sure that.
I think it is.
I think.
I'm sure that was done when we had one of the classes.
Yeah, I'm sure. 5KC registered?
I know you need this too.
So
I do know.
to take our fictitious name and register them with incorrect.
Yeah.
Okay, we stop at Secretary of State. So a lot of people.
Yeah. Maybe we need to have another fictitious name class. Oh, so good point.
So yes, we need one of these.
If we register, as it goes around, people's hands go up. If we register a quote unquote company name or business name or Darin Jones Real Estate, and you submit it to the Secretary of State, then it has to go to MREC. Secretary of State sends back a kind of a receipt with a stamp on it that says they've received it. Then that has to go to the MREC on an MREC form.
Send it to MREC?
Yep.
When it comes back.
I
On
don't,
a,
this one. If it is a registered LLC, does it also need to be registered as a fictitious name?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
and submitted to MREC.
And all the things. Okay.
Yep.
No, that's fine. I just. Nah, Chris can deal with me using my first, middle, last, and maybe that's it right on my belt. That's her problem. That I follow.
But first, middle, last on your
What's it, Sarah?
Facebook posts? Probably not.
Facebook is asking.
Not 5. But 5's on your license.
Pipes on. I do not. Okay. Got it. Okay, so. Is this an online form?
I mean, yeah, it's available online.
Okay.
You can put both. There, you can put more than one thing in that space. Should. I know. All this extra work. I was just gonna give you more.
Maybe because I've got two, that's enough. Yeah, I was like, oh wait, thanks for adding, my last name's right on my license. Look out for you anyway. I have no personal.
Yeah. How do we know if we did the fictitious name includes MREC? I almost bought her one of those phones for us. I know we did the fictitious name, but I don't know if we did the like.
I would think there's a place on their website, but I don't know. I guess you could call them,
I think I guess.
sit on hold for a while,
No, we did. Yeah, I don't know.
or get that, whatever that form is that we fill out for name changes, and not this one, but another one. I can email me and I'll send you one. I've got PDF saved. I mean, if you send it again, I don't think there's any harm.
No.
And there's no charge for MREC. It was just the $7 that you paid to the Secretary of State.
Registers with the Secretary of State, but we still need to send something with the document to Emmerich. What was that? The operating document. That was sent in the first document that then was got the.
Well,
Remember?
is that, so it's like an LLC or whatever?
Yeah. Well, we've got. Real estate for real estate, so we've got real estate for persons. And we've got science for real estate. Out of DBA. Right. There, do we need to make sure?
Those names need to get recorded at the Secretary of State as a fictitious name. It's $7 and it lasts for 5 years. And then once you submit it, they send it back with the stamp at the top that says they've received it. That and a different form that you check the box that says registration of fictitious name, go to MREC. That's free. You just, I started to say fax again. You email it, scan it and email.
I'm Mark.
Yeah.
But we signed things.
Just write Margaret K on, or K, just write K Hudson on that. Because that's a nickname or an alias down at the bottom right.
So I write.
No, just write what your alias is or your nickname. Yeah.
Okay, so do I do theirs as Mandy? I don't want to do my middle name though. I just want to do Mandy Rowe. Do I put it here?
Just put that here. This would be like if you get married and you want to change your last name or something like that.
Change my name. I
Right,
don't go by Amanda.
right. Yeah, I would just write Mandy Rowe down here. Would be covered. Good. Good. I don't think dropping a middle name is a huge deal, but why not? It's free.
Yeah.
That's going to be fictitious name. Yep. It's a whole different process. If you email me, I can, so when we did a fictitious name class a year or two ago, I saved all my instructions. And I can send them to you, and then if you need to call me, you can call me. $7 for 5 years for each one of them. Again,
I know. Do I sign it as my new name or that name? Signature? Does it matter? So just have you sign.
I don't think it matters.
Okay.
I mean, if it does, they'll let you know, but.
Ask it.
Cool. Post the fictitious name form. Yeah, or I can just email it as a PDF. All right, fax it. I'll just drive it over to Pleasant Hill. That's how we used to have to do it.
We have it, but from the.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, I wouldn't, no, it'd be like going to my house, kind of, sort of. So. It's gonna be fun. Huh? Top right, there's a fax, or God damn. No, there is a fax number. There is, but there's an email address too. So just fill it out, send it. I don't even know if you'll get. Yeah, or scan it. Yeah, scan it with your phone or scan it up front or whatever. I think
Good, Darin, that's good.
you got work to go do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got my number.
Yeah.
This one is. What would I name this? It must be.
He's like, about that.
I'll put the forms.
Follow the rules of
Yeah.
national taught to do. You'll be fine.
But there's so many rules.
Hey, if you've been here long enough, certain things that are compliant, like, you should know by now.
Yeah.
Okay, for.
Okay, apparently I sent something the other day with Darin's signature on it.
That happens often though.
I've been back twice. On purpose. I was just moving and getting everything in there and I did it and I was like, oh, shit.
Without whose signature? Oh, as long as you got the sellers. Mine doesn't have to be on there.
Kick it back.
Oh, I know.
It happens all the time, like.
But yeah,
Like, fuck, when I go down, I say it all, like, everything I don't forget, and then I get it.
Yeah. No, don't let my signature hold you up at all.
You get it. Great.
All right.
Yeah.
That's all I've got. If there's no questions,
Gatorade. I know your number two. I like beef with the Sam's cover.
Number two what?
It's the butchers that.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm not leaving yet.
I think that's the same. Well, we have just some more baskets. Now, so we got it.
Forms are, you can't use realty at all.
It's not Missouri anymore either.
Mm-mm.
Don't use real.
Realty indicates that you're the brokerage. Keller Williams Southland Partners Realty, but you can't be, yeah, you'd have to own the office. Yeah. Real estate's fine. Did you have realty on something? Yeah. Can't use realty.
No, I wouldn't even.
Hang on. Too much noise behind me.
We have a home team. So in 2023, I did it. And I looked it up on the Secretary of State and it said zero home team LLC with bronze. And then there's zero home team with no. So I'm finding, do I need to read?
Anything that's an LLC would have to be a fictitious name. But just omitting your middle initial or Ron instead of Ronald